Hi, welcome to SharePoint Unscripted. This is Kyle. Today we're going to talk about the new team site experience in SharePoint Online and Office 365. And I'm going to go about it as if I was seeing it for the first time as a user. I have looked at it a little bit, but I haven't really dug into it. And so I don't want to read a bunch of stuff about it and use any of the tutorials. I want to come in at this like I would if I was an end user, and end users don't read anything. They read they scan pages, they read titles, and they dig into it. So that's how I'm going to do it. And that way I'm going to kind of feel the same experience they're going to run into when they use it. So you get the new team site experience when you create an Office 365 group now. And that's being rolled out. I don't know if it's finished being rolled out, but you might, if you're on an existing tenant, you might not have it yet, but it's coming very soon. If you start a new tenant, you'll have it. So the way to know, though, is if you go to the group and check it out, you'll see if it's a team site or not, because you'll have a home thing like this. So I'm going to go in there. I've already created the Office 365 group. So to get to that, I'm going to click my mail, since they show up there. And here's my groups. And so I've got my Flying Dutchman group that I'm a member of. That's going to pop up. And it brings me to the conversations because I'm in Outlook. If I was in Calendar, bring me to the calendar and all that stuff. So here I've got Files and I've got Site. So if I click Files, it'll take me to the site, but it'll take me right to the document library. So I'm going to click Site, and here I am. So it's part of the group. This is my public group stuff up here, and so I have quick links. I just added this. I had gone in here and added some documents as well. So there's also some things that get added automatically. And the thing about this page is that it's geared to make things easier for end users who do not have SharePoint experience. And I think it does that. I think it does that job pretty well. It's not going to be like the old team site where you can go in and edit this page. This is the default home page. You cannot edit it directly. There's no web part zones, none of that stuff. So you kind of get what you get. One thing I did try is I created a wiki page and I set it as my home page. And it did it. It was fine. But if I want to go back to this page, I can't. You do not have rights to edit this page. This is actually an application page hosted on the Office 365 server. So just know that if you head down that path, you're going to be there and you're not going to be able to get back. You're going to be stuck. So what's good about this, though, is it's very simple. I can put the important stuff on top by adding a quick link up here, and then down here it will tell me the site activity and all that kind of stuff. And I can put quick links to pages as well. So you can kind of create a navigation experience here, or you always have the left navigation that you can edit to take people to important links and other pages and stuff like that. So I'm following this, shows me my members. I can go in here and create a new list or library or another app. As far as anything else goes, I'm pretty well stuck. If I go up to the gear here, you'll see I don't have edit page, and I don't have a ribbon and things like that. So that's pretty much all you can do with the team site homepage. And you'll notice since I can't edit it, I'm really restricted on branding, and basically all I can do is I'm using my company profile theme up here to give me this link and to change the color and all that. So if you're going to try to do branding around this and customize the master page and things like that, that won't apply to this. This doesn't use the master page. It's really built into Office 365, just like Outlook and all that kind of stuff. Great for end users, great for mobile support. I like it for those things. And it is what it is. So when I need to go into a company and help them out, help them to get started, and they want to do some serious custom branding and whatnot, I need to sell this idea to people. I need to sell this idea that this is the branding you're going to get. If you want to have highly customized master pages and things like that, you're not going to really be able to use this to do that. So you'll have to create sites and things the old way, which you can still do. It's fine. But when you go to create team sites and things like that, you'll have to use the old team site, not the new one. Otherwise, you get this. So while we're in here, I'm just going to go back into my site contents. And you get the default site contents page. And from here, I can click List, Libraries, Apps, and Subsites. And so these are the subsites I have. If I want to go to site pages, let's say I want to create an old school page, I can certainly do that if I go into my site pages, which is an old school document library still. If I go to Files and click on the new document drop down, you'll see I've got wiki page and web part page. I can't create a new version of that home page with the new look and functionality. And that's because you can't do anything to it. So all you would be able to do is create the exact same page again, and there's really no reason to do that. But I can go new wiki page, and I'll call this, let's see, let's call this, what's a good name? I'm going to call it new page because I don't care. It's just for a demo. And now I've got my standard old school wiki page, and I can do the specific layout. And from here, I can go to Insert, and I can insert the app part to one of my libraries and stuff. The difference between an app part and a web part is that an app part is a web part, but a web part's not an app part. App parts are generated automatically when I create a document library or a list or something like that. And it does the corresponding one, so I can add content from those areas to my page. And I'm going to do that right now, inserting my app part, clicking on Documents, and clicking Add, and it brings whatever the default view is in my library into here, which I haven't really created yet. And I don't like that space, so I'm going to just hit Delete, and now we have that, and it's all good. So I'm going to save this page, and there I have it. It actually took me back, so it takes me to the new page. And there you have it. And I can edit this and brand it. It's using the master page, all that good stuff. So I can use a new team site and create more of a customized user experience by creating these other pages. Now I want to create a link to it over here on the left. I can just take this and copy it. And this drag and drop link here, I have never been able to get it working. So if I select this and drag it down here, it's just not happening for me. It says the plus sign. I'm clicking on it, but when I let go, nothing. So I'm just going to click new link. And I don't know if it's because of my browser or what the deal is. And it doesn't matter. Let's go here, do that. Now I've got my new link, and I'll save it. And there I have it. And so if I click on the tile here, it'll take me back to the home page. And now I should be able to add, I'm going to get rid of this here, unpin that. So I'm just going to remove it. It doesn't remove the document, just the tile up here. Okay, so now I can click add a new link, and I can actually paste my URL in here, new page, and it'll put this right in here. So it will display the image of the page on here, but it has to crawl first. So it does give you the functionality of adding the page directly, but that's not using the search. But this part is using the search, just like Delve does. So let's talk about the document library. And if you know all about this, then you can pretty much stop the video right now. It might be a review for some of you. So the new document library has been around for months and months, and it's been pushed out. Right now you can still use the old library or the new one when you have your for your library experience, and you can set that in admin settings so your admins can do that for you. I really like the new one, and at first glance I didn't, because change sucks, and it's pain and suffering and things like that. So but once I really got into it, started to use it and click around and do stuff, I realized that this is so much better for new users than the old document library, because you can do everything really from this page. You don't really need to go into your library settings anymore to do this stuff. It's all right here. So one thing is views. And so people are confused because they don't see the view menu up here. It's the drop down over here. And so if you're used to 2010 or 2007, that's where your views were anyway. So this won't be a jump for you, but if you've been using 2013 for a while, it's a little different. So as you can see, I've got a few views here already. I've got tiles which will actually show me like pictures and that kind of stuff, a little document preview. I can select the stuff and do all the things I need to do up here. So that's the different views that are created. If I want to create a new view, it's really, really easy. So the first thing I want to do is add a few columns so I can have my properties doing the work for me instead of trying to do some kind of folder structure or just dumping everything right in here. All right, so if I want to add a new column, I can click the plus sign, and I've got this show hide columns under here. That's for adding existing columns to this view. So first I want to create a new one. I'm going to click more. So here that takes me to the standard create a column dialog, and I can do used for my choices, and I can do this and add them here. And so this is used for design or governance or fun. So I got some categories there. One thing I like to do when I do a choice column is I like to add a choice at the very end for categorize me, or please categorize or uncategorize or something like that. And what that's going to let me do is set as a default. So somebody puts something out here and doesn't categorize it, it's pretty apparent, and it's call to action and tells me I need to do something. So I've got my new column, and I'm actually going to create another one. So let's see, I'll do a person column, and I'll call it owner, and create that. So now I've got my two columns, and if I want to update the stuff, I did set defaults, but it doesn't apply defaults to existing, only new. And so I'm going to click quick edit up here, which is my favorite way of adding properties because I don't have to open up each individual item and do them. I can just blast them all out right here. So I've got my choices. I'm going to say this is used for design, this is used for governance, this is used for fun, and I'm going to make the rest of them fun so I can use the fill handle and just drag it down. And so I'm going to be the owner for all of these. So I'm just going to click my name here, and I can still use the fill handle even though it's a people field, which is pretty cool. And now I'm done. I'm just going to click done. And there you have it. So now my columns are filled out. And so creating a view has never been easier. I can just simply click on one of the column drop downs and kind of do what I want to do. So here I can sort, I can filter, and I can group. So I'm going to group by used for. And I want to have two levels of grouping. So if I click on the drop down for owner and I say group by owner, it just changes it. It doesn't let me group and subgroup. So I'm going to group by owner or group by used for, and this brings me to this, which is kind of cool. So I've got my groups. If I want to add a subgroup, I need to edit the view after the fact. I can't use this. So what I'm going to do now is I've got some columns in here, modified by, that I don't need or want. So I'm just going to hide these. And I'm going to hide this one as well. And now I just have the two. So typically when I'm grouping by a column, I don't add the columns here because you can tell from the name what they are. So it's a space saver. I'm a big believer in a minimal amount of columns to get the job done, and depending on the audience. So if my user experience is going to be to come in here and just look for and open documents, and I don't care about the modified date and all the other stuff, I'll just take all that out. So even if it's just a row of document names, it's the most simple. Some people like modified date though because they can see what's the newest and stuff. So I typically will leave that one in. So I'm going to put that back So I'll go over here and click on any of these column headings, go to column settings, and here I can do the show hide columns, and that will bring me all my existing stuff here. So I can go into and click modified and just apply it. And now it's in here. So, and you can change the order, really easy. Go down here and in the column settings and say move left, and go in here, column settings again, and move left, and now it's where I want it. So I want people to see the document, when it was modified, what it's used for, and who the owner is, and I want to group it. So one thing I'm going to do quickly is I'm going to save this view. So to do that, as you can see, I've got this one selected and this other menu, and I don't have my views drop down because I've got a document selected. And so that can be kind of a confusing user experience as well. So if I uncheck that though, then I see my views and stuff like that, and my view is still created, but at this point it hasn't been saved. And so I don't want that to happen, so I'll just go down here and save the view. So I'm just going to call this user, used for, and we'll just click save, boom, 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 and now I've got my view and it's used for. So now I want to group by this, and even if I go in here now and do it, it's still going to just switch the grouping. So I need to modify this view old school. So to do that, I'm going to go to Manage Views in my View drop-down. And this takes me to the document library settings, and I can go all the way to the bottom and click on the name of the view. And here I can edit, go down to my grouping, group by, used for, then owner. So there's owner. And I can do all the same stuff. So you get more features and functionality. A few gotchas in here with this old school view builder, and so you want to be careful. Like if I want to use different styles, like the basic table or newsletter, things like that, it's going to give me a problem. So I'm just going to click OK since I've got my groups in there. So one thing that's different is I've got my collapse thing here, my show or hide or group or collapse or expand, whatever you call that. If I click on the group itself, it does something that's kind of weird. It treats it like it's going to a subfolder and only showing stuff within that group. So, but I do have this kind of nice breadcrumb. So if I go to 2 different levels, I can quickly get back that way. But if I just want to toggle these open or closed, I just click the arrows. So that's about a 12-second learning curve that people will run into, which is fine. So the other thing I can do in here is if I click on a document, I've got this little info panel on the right-hand side, and this is where I would edit the properties manually. So if I came down here and I clicked Edit All, I can change the custom properties for a single document, and then I can save it. It'll take me right back. So this also gives me some cool capabilities as well. When I click on the information panel, I can go down and I can see the sharing information. I can see the basic metadata that's filled in. If it's not filled in, it will not show here, which is kind of nice. I have this email everybody. So I go in, I did something with this document, and I need to communicate that. If I click on email everybody, it's going to email the groups I have out here that have access to it, and with a link. So I can say, hey, this changed, can you come out here and take a look? So let's look at the new little ribbon menu up here. It's not really the ribbon, but it is contextual. So if I select a document, it gives me all the options that I can do for that document. So delete, download, get a link, share, so I can give people access to it. I see share, I see get a link, I see download, delete, but there's more here. So whenever I see 3 dots anywhere in SharePoint, I click on it because I want to know what's available. And there's no 3 dots are alike. So you're going to see different stuff based on what you can do. Version history, versioning is turned on automatically. Alerts is the same alert thing you were used to, and checkout works the same way. Quick rename, that's good. I can copy this to somewhere else. I want to move this to a different library or a different folder. If I pin this to the top, it creates this it creates this tile up here that folks can get to. And so you might put your most popular documents up there, or the stuff you're working on recently. And especially if you have a whole bunch of stuff in here already. If you have a whole lot of documents, it's a good idea to put the most important ones up top. So, and let's see, doesn't matter the view. When I pin something, it'll pin it for all the different views. The sync is a lot better now. It's using the new Office, it's using the new OneDrive for Business sync technology, which works way better and does not lose its connection all the time and have all the other buggy issues the old one had. So if you don't have the Office 365 sync installed, the first time you do the sync, you'll see this down here. Get the OneDrive for Business app that's right for me. And I'll close this out because I don't want to do it. And I believe the limit for syncing has gone up, but I'm not sure at this point. So if somebody wants to stick something in the comments for that, that would be great. All right, so I have this selected up here. It gives me the unpin and all the same stuff. If I had one of these selected down here, it would give me the pin option and all these things. So this is pretty much everything you would ever need to do without having to go into the settings or into the back end of anything. And again, this is all mobile ready, so I can look at it on any mobile device, and it really gives me a nice view of the documents. It's a really nice mobile interface. So thank you. That was SharePoint Unscripted. My next video is going to be on quickly creating composed looks to change the colors and do branding and things like that for different sites. If you like this video, make sure to hit like down below, or subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. Also, you can check out the description. I'll have links down there that pertain to this topic, to helpful videos and other sites and posts and whatnot. So I'm done now.